projects going on. Listen, everybody's busy. So I thank you so much for even taking the time to listen to me today. I want to talk to our women today, regardless to your age, whether you're young or old, whether you're single or you're married. I talk to women a lot. And so I wanted to have a conversational type of dialogue today, just particularly with our women. And if the men want to listen, that's great, because it helps you to understand a little bit more too. I hear so much in conversation about men this and men that, and so much in conversation about how a lot of women are tired of being single. You know, I used to find myself being in that particular situation. And then after, you know, my divorce, I was alone for five years, and then wasn't, you know, really ready for a relationship. And then, of course, I'm going to help God out, go on a dating website. I met someone and, you know, was in that particular situation for almost 4 years, and it ended, you know. So I've only been in 2 kind of serious relationships as an adult woman. But I can say that, you know, I'm grateful for both relationships. My ex-husband and I, when we got together, we were children. So there you go. But, you know, even in the mature situation, it was a great learning experience, and it kind of opened my eyes to the dating scene in this world and this time, and what we have to do as women from a spiritual stance, and what to look for from men and as well. So it was a great learning tool. Yeah, but I wanted to tap on into that. And today I wanted to talk about preparation or separation. You know, when it comes to relationships, you're either preparing for a relationship that's gonna stand regardless to the situation, or you're preparing for a relationship that's gonna end in a separation. So it's going to be forever, or it's going to be separation. And so what I want to talk about today is, I want to define what preparation is, and I also want to define what separation is. Okay, so when we prepare for something, it's the action or the process of making ready, or being ready for, or consideration. It's also development, it's training, it's priming, drilling, getting ready for something done to get ready for an event or an undertaking. And if we look at separation, it's just the action or the state of moving, or moving apart. Disconnection, a detachment, disassociation, disunion, segregation, partition. So when it comes to relationships, because I'm taking my time this time, you're either preparing for ever, or you are preparing for a separation. And I remember, you know, after my marriage ended and I prayed, God revealed to me then that however you begin a relationship is what will go on during that relationship. And ultimately, if it's outside of the will of God, it will end your relationship. So if you start your relationship off arguing and fighting, or start your relationship off without God being the core of it all, you start your relationship off in the flesh with premarital sex, in most cases than not, it will end in a separation, and it most definitely will not last, because it's built on something that's not solid. And so as I began to kind of study about this, that I wanted to talk to you all about today, it led me over to Proverbs 31:10 through 31. And when you get an opportunity, ladies, I want you to read all of that, but I'm just going to pick out some key scriptures. And if we look at verse 10, it says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." If we jump to verse 26, "She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness." Verse 27, "She looketh where to the ways of her household, and later not the bread of idleness." It's my writing, so I hope I said it right. Verse 28, "Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her." Verse 30, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. And so, I was thinking about that. When you're preparing for something, you take time. A lot of us, we get into situations without being thoroughly prepared for it. And so I came up with some bullet points that I wanted to talk to you all about today. For number one, whatever you are, you will attract that. It ain't personal, it's spiritual. So whatever you are, you will attract that. Now, some of you may be saying, I'm not a cheater, I'm not a liar, or whatever, but you may feel like you're not worthy. You may feel like you're second best. You may feel like nothing ever works out for you. Whatever you feel from a spiritual, vibrational sense, you will attract what you are. We can't blame a man for our demise. We have to take accountability and responsibility as women of God for ourselves and our relationship with God. We can't give a man control. We are in control of how a man treats us because we attract who we are. That's number one. Number two, has your past choices impacted your life? Are you still single, or have God shown you your husband? Are you preparing for marriage? Your past choices in relationships, have it impacted your life for the better or for the worse? Have you learned anything? Are you continuing to enter into relationships and do the same acts? Because if you are, nothing will ever change for you. It will never change. Or have you moved into or transitioned into a place of courtship to where you're getting ready to be married? Getting ready to be married. Number three, what is your relationship like with God? What is it like? Is God like a part-time lover? Or is he the core of your being? Are you in devotion with him every day? Do you have a relationship with him? Do you use him like a spare tire? Or only when you need something? Or when you're in a pickle? Or is he just your everything to no matter what, you're talking to him, you're praying, you're meditating to him, you're trying to constantly align yourself with his will, because without him, you can do not a thing. A lot of times as women, we want a man to be a spiritual man of God that has all of these qualities. But once again, you attract who you are. So if you use God on a part-time basis, don't expect for you to draw in a spiritual being in a flesh house that's going to be using God as a priority. You can't blame the man. I'm not going to hear that from anyone. We are women, we are creators, and we are virtuous. We have the power of duplication and multiplication and the anointing of just breaking stuff up and making it grow in a vast state on our lives. And I refuse to hear women constantly put this on the men, because we are creators of our own life and we attract who we are. So if you want a godly man, be a godly woman. Are you a part-time lover for God? Then you're going to have a part-time man that's a part-time lover of God and a part-time lover of you. Think about it. Have you dealt with the pains of your past? Have you began healing? Have you dealt with any of those things? Because if you have not dealt with those things, it ain't personal, it's spiritual. You're going to attract a low-quality man who's got some issues that he hadn't dealt with. And you're going to open a door for the adversary to come in and not only disrupt their life, but disrupt your life. So when it comes to relationships with the opposite sex, or just relationships, you have to do your work and you have to prepare yourself. You have to take accountability and responsibility for your part in the demise of the situation. You can't go around bad mouthing your ex like a dog, because you attract who you are. When you know better, you do better. So if you got some childhood cycles that's been passed down for generations in your family, where women are always attracting no good man, and you have so many different baby daddies, and everybody attract whoremongers and cheaters, then it's your job to do the work spiritually with God. Develop a relationship with God, a repetition with God, a repetition with redeveloping the logical things in your brain so that you can attract what you really desire and what you really, really, really want. You can do that. But first, you have to take ownership for who you are and what you have attracted to you. You can't bash a dude because you pulled him into your experience. You created it. And then I want to go over here to 1 Peter 3. It talks about when your husband stumble on you, he should see purity and reverence of your life. Purity and a reverence about yourself. The way you carry yourself. The way you talk. Your beauty should not come from just outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and wearing of gold jewelry and fine clothes. Rather, it should be your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight, like Sarah. It's cool if you're beautiful, if God graced you to be a beautiful woman. And it's, if you can wear fine clothes and things like that, that's really, really nice. But a man can get that anywhere. What is it about you that aligns you with God in such a way to where you reflect Sarah? And when I'm talking about Sarah, I'm talking about Sarah, Abraham's wife. She was beyond gorgeous, but most importantly, her innermost spirit, because you are who you attract. And I'm tired of women giving their power to a man, because when you say he did this and he did that, and I can't believe you're giving that man that power. You are in control for what you have created in your past relationships, in your relationship, in your marriage. You are in control of that, and you can change that. You can change that. But it's time to work on your inner parts, because that's most important. And then if we go on over here to Proverbs 18:22, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. He who finds a wife, who stumbles on her. When a man finds you, sweetheart, you're already a wife. You're walking in the spirit of a wife, not a girlfriend. Girlfriends don't know who they are. They ain't dealt with their past issues. They get used for sex and some of everything else, and they ain't got no victory. And they don't know when they're coming, when they're going. They blame a man for everything. They depend on a man for everything instead of depending on God. That's a girlfriend. A wife is secure. She knows her worth. She knows her value. She ain't doing stuff that all the other women are doing. She has a relationship with God. She's dealing with her issues. She's healed. And she is 100% virtuous. She has an anointing, a spear on her life, a smear on her life of multiplication. Everything she touches, it just multiplies. See, because when you have favor, you have approval and support from a heavenly realm of life. Patronage. Assistance. You have backing. When you are favored like that, you're a rarity in the eyesight of a man. You don't occur very often. You're scarce, few and far between, uncommon, unusually good, remarkable, unique, exceptional is what you are. And I just have a couple more. Do you attract the same type of man but in a different body? Check your spirit. Check your alignment with God. Do you find yourselves in relationships where you're not valued as a woman? Check yourself. What do you think about yourself? Because you attract what your thoughts are. Do you cater to a significant other like he's your husband? Don't cater to a man who ain't catered to you. What do I mean? If he's catered to you, he's made a covenant with God about you. He's gonna marry you. If he ain't doing that, I ain't cooking you no dinner. I ain't washing your clothes. I ain't catching no bill for you, because you're I do that for a husband. For a husband, ladies. Slow down. Take a breath. It's gonna be all right. Are you giving a man all parts of you, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Are you married? Then if it's not, you ain't got no business giving a man all those parts of you. A man should earn that. He earns that with his relationship with God and the covenant that he's made with God to marry you. When he says, I do. There you go. If you are, I want you to stop. If you're catering to a man like this, that's not your husband. Never lay your body down, your spirit down, your life down, your money down, etc. for a man who hasn't laid his life down for you. For you, how do you know if he's done that? Because it's a covenant of marriage in the equation. Do not give a boy wife privileges. If you're chattering and talking to a man and he's on the come up, he ain't got his stuff together, and he's only about what he want to do and his child, and he's squeezing you into his schedule, or he don't know what he want in his life, he ain't looking for a wife. He's looking for sex. He's looking for a girl. He's shopping you. You know, in my business, I'm a mortgage analyst. They shop us to see who they can get the best deal. He's going to use you. He ain't even securing himself yet, and it's your fault if you allow it. The man God sends will be fully developed. He will be patient. He will not be seeking sex. He won't be seeking attention from all kinds of women, seeking a dream, locking his phone, being mysterious, keep you guessing and playing mind games for you. Why? Because he knows God. He will fear God. He will respect women. He has dealt with his insecurities. He's ready to openly love and be vulnerable with you. He won't change on you if you just show him imperfections. He's patient, and he knows you are a catch, ladies. He knows the anointing that's on your life. He knows that there's something unique about you. He knows it. He knows that you can make his his dreams into a reality. He knows that you can touch his business and turn it into a corporation. He knows that you can see his vision and make it a reality. He knows that anything he brings you, you have the spirit of duplication and multiplication all on top of you. Why? Because he knows God. He knows his spirit. And if he knows his spirit, he knows your spirit. As women, we have favor and we have the spirit of expansion all over us. You don't have to prove a thing to anyone, especially to a boy who ain't settled in who he is and who he wants to be. A lot of time we let people through that shouldn't have access to us because we're not healed. So I wanted to reach out on this Wisdom Wednesday. I had to do it a little quick. I wish I had more time with this. I may do a part 2. But I want you to know, ladies, that you can have the desires of your heart, but also remember that out of the heart flows the issues of your life. So if stuff is showing up in your life, baby, it ain't ever personal. It's always spiritual. It's a vibration. It's spiritual. So if you don't like what you're seeing, I want you to take the time and forgive yourself and take control back and not bash a man, but fall on your knees and pray to God, and he will wipe this slate clean and build you up stronger than ever before, so that not only all of your dreams can become a reality, but the man that God has designed for you will stumble upon his favor. God bless you. I love you, and I'll see you in 2. Have a great day.